Within Canada lies numerous ganglands. Major cities like Toronto and Montreal have a long history of organized crime, along with various hoods which have become breeding grounds for gangs. Metro Vancouver has seen numerous bloody turf wars as crime groups battle for control of the city's drug trade. Winnipeg is home to an estimated 40 gangs, which is made up of anywhere between 1,500 to 3,000 members. The city suffers from unusually high crime rates and is considered to be Canada's Aboriginal gang capital. This is the story of Canada's most dangerous city. Before we get into today's story, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to everyone who supported the channel. The positive comments and just interacting with you guys has become my favorite part about doing this, and I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate it. With all that being said, let's get right into today's story. Winnipeg has consistently seen higher crime rates compared to other Canadian cities. In 2015, the city had 627 crimes per 100,000 residents, which was more than double the national average of 262. Homicides and assaults are more common, and there's also a disturbing history of disappearances. In 1 year alone, there were over 9,300 missing person reports filed in Winnipeg. The North End is predominantly the most dangerous part of the city. This area suffers from higher levels of poverty and a lack of opportunity. Robberies and break-ins deter new businesses from opening up, and this leaves disenfranchised youths with little to no prospects. Various Aboriginal and multicultural street gangs dominate the West End as well. This largely began in the late 1980s as Indigenous youths looked to band together in a sense of belonging. Most came from broken homes and suffered many injustices, from being refused hospital care to police brutality. In 1988, the Wolf brothers, Danny and Richard Wolf, formed the Indian Posse. By 1994, they were engaged in a turf war with a rival gang known as the Overlords. The city seen a spree of drive-by shootings along with assaults during this period. Winnipeg's police quickly caught on to the Indian Posse's organization as they adopted the style of Los Angeles gangs, which made them easily identifiable. The Wolf brothers created a new brand of gang culture in Winnipeg, and eventually the Indian Posse became Canada's largest gang, with dozens of members spread across multiple provinces. Due to decades of poverty and generational trauma, Aboriginal youths have become the most at risk of joining street gangs in Canada. The Indian Posse rapidly spread throughout Manitoba's prison system, and after their release, recruited new members from different townships and reservations. But in 1992, another gang formed within Manitoba's Stony Mountain Institution. These new inmates banded together after being outnumbered by other First Nation and white prison gangs. They became known as the Manitoba Warriors, and their numbers swelled once they hit the street, recruiting dozens of members within North End Winnipeg, and eventually became direct rivals to the Indian Posse. The Indian Posse and Manitoba Warriors have a rigid structure similar to outlaw motorcycle clubs. High-ranking members are strict and treat low-ranking members as disposable until they have proven themselves. In many cases, younger members are regularly targeted in beatings for disobeying orders. This created the perfect environment for other gangs to start popping up, as youths look to form their own gangs without so many rules. Some formed new identities, while others adopted the Blood and Crip monikers as an intimidation tactic. This has created a complex hierarchy of gangs, as some are considered to be subgroups of older, more established ones like the Manitoba Warriors and Indian Posse. The Native Syndicate, which originally started in Saskatchewan, has also found its way into North End Winnipeg. The Hells Angels have a chapter in Winnipeg. They have formed close ties with the Manitoba Warriors and by extension have become rivals to the Indian Posse. The Hells Angels also have proxy gangs like the Zigzag Crew within Winnipeg, and this sophisticated network of blanket gangs has helped them evade law enforcement for decades. The Winnipeg police are stretched thin and underfunded. The lack of manpower contributed to a significant surge of violent crime starting in 2010. Homicides have increasingly gone unsolved over the years, which is fed into street retaliations as gangs remain unchecked. Winnipeg is also considered to have the softest sentences for criminal charges in Canada, creating a revolving door for gangs that form in and outside of prison. Many members consider it a badge of honor to serve time, which in return solidifies their reputation as gang members. Other multicultural gangs have popped up in Winnipeg as well, such as the Mad Cows, which is predominantly made up of Black and First Nation youths. Starting in 2019, the city has consistently seen more than 40 homicides a year. This gives it an average homicide rate of 5.04 per 100,000 residents. which is more than double the rate seen in cities like Toronto. 2022 was the deadliest year in the city's history, with 54 homicides being reported. There are other Canadian cities like Thunder Bay which have surpassed Winnipeg's homicide rate, but Winnipeg has consistently earned the infamous reputation of being Canada's deadliest city numerous times in the past 20 years. In contrast to the United States, it's actually Canada's small cities and townships that suffer from higher levels of poverty and crime, which can be seen with small towns like Battleford in Saskatchewan and Thompson, Manitoba. These small communities have seen an increasing level of gang activity, which is usually only seen in larger populations. This has skyrocketed their crime rates far beyond the national average. With Canada's recent economical decline, more people are falling under the poverty line than ever seen before. Homeless encampments have popped up in almost every city across the country, and drug abuse has rose to unprecedented levels. Gentrification has also added to this situation as it's made it harder for families to find long-term housing. This leaves cities like Winnipeg that have struggled with its own issues on a municipal level to be further affected by the country's wider economical strain. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that story. If there's any other Canadian cities that you would like me to cover, let me know in the comments below. With all that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you in the comments.